Q2S Media.
Welcome to another dope episode of Up to Something. We're your hosts, Trapper D God.
Bill Bixby.
And like always, we're here to give you the real.
But like what we always do and forever gonna do, TZ try to stop me from doing it, but I don't give a damn. I'm doing it.
Ain't no cancellation on this side, bro. Ain't no cancellation.
Engineer Pablo, a.k.a. Trap TZ.
Trap Dot.
A.k.a. Motherfucker Supreme Being.
Yay. Hey, man. Welcome back, my guys. Man, what's going on, Pablo? How you feeling?
Fuck my feelings, bro. Let's roll, man.
Fuck it. Look at it. He feeling.
If I talk about my feelings, bro, it's gonna be a sad podcast, man.
Oh, love, boy. That boy feeling spicy today, bro. That boy been in his feelings all week, but I feel you.
They got his heart broke.
Hey, you know, we all go through it. Everybody get those times where they just be in that place where they don't really feel like it. I ain't mad at you. We here again, guys, man. We got another good podcast. I feel like we got some dope conversations that we're going to talk about, some things that is occurring right now in the world. So it's always good for us to get on here and talk about it while it's, you know, going on right now in the world. And we're going to speak on the little things that doesn't happen, but it's still popping. We're going to start off with, and I feel like because there's not enough information on this topic, I want to give a quick spotlight on it and let people know. Young black man by the name of Jelani Day. I'm not exactly sure exactly where he's from because, like I said, there's a lot of information, but there was a outcry that he went missing and they found his body and it was mutilated and, you know, treated pretty fucking bad. But even on top of that, there was a short message by his mom saying that certain members of his body, organs, you know, certain things were missing. Later on, now she went and had their own public person look at an autopsy and found out that the body parts are there actually. Whether or not the people who had the body first put the body parts back, or it was never, maybe it was a misconfusion, I don't really know, but I wanted to just throw that out there. But as always, I want to know y'all opinions on it too.
Shit, just like you said, man, like as you broke it down, that's what was going through my mind. First, they found, obviously, somebody got to do an autopsy on you to know you don't have no fucking organs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how you don't have organs, but now you do have organs. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It sounds kind of suspicious to me, man. And it is real fucked up. And I want to send my prayers and love out to his family. That's some fucked up shit to have to go through, man. That they saw the man jaw with a fucking saw and shit, man. Like,
yeah. They mutilated.
Crazy ass shit, man.
They mutilated him, bro.
Yeah, man. But I just feel this bullshit, man. But it's ongoing. Like you said, we really don't know too much about it. But from what we do know, I don't know. It seems like some race shit, if you want to ask me.
Exactly.
Gotta be racist.
And it's, to be honest with you, before I let Pablo go, it's always like an underline or undertow of racism whenever it's something like this, because it's such a heinous act. And we know that white America and colonizer America have a history of doing heinous acts like this to black people. So it's kind of hard not to put the two and two together.
Yeah, I feel you on it. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. So, you know, just to find, you know, somebody's body mutilated, just, you know, putting myself in that place, that's some fucked up shit that my mama can't barely identify, you know, who I am and, you know, pieces of me missing and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and,
exactly.
You know, and I can't even describe what his mom probably going through just to see that about her son, man. That shit kind of, it's heartbroken, bruh. That she have to go through that. So like you say, hearts out to her, man. But, you know, it's just more to it. You know, like you say, Look, undertone, who's really out here
Yeah,
mutilating
exactly.
motherfuckers?
Who
Like,
be out
cause
here
this ain't no,
mutilating people?
exactly.
Exactly.
This ain't
Yeah.
no street shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
But
niggas ain't.
and on the same thing with you is, and it's not like he involved in like some drug gangland war, so yeah, we could be like, oh well, you
That
know,
was the next
the other
thing,
people
yeah.
involved, so you know, because I'm not sitting and saying that white people are the only people that mutilate people. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in America, usually when a body is found mutilated of a black person that's not, you know what I'm saying, it's usually some white, it has some white undertone racism,
Yeah.
colonizer, or
If it
whatever you
ain't
want to
that-
call them. Yeah, it's usually
If it ain't that, you know, the next step we're gonna be thinking cartel type shit. So
Exactly,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Of
I
course.
mean,
You know,
like you saying, bro, if you wasn't a street dude,
Yeah,
Yeah, then exactly. So
yeah,
you know, we all know, bruh.
exactly.
Ain't too much needed to be said about any
You know,
further.
the most important thing is that they find justice for Jelani Day and his family, and you know, and hopefully they'll be able to put him to rest, and intact with all his organs and vital parts.
Yeah.
On to the next topic. It's a topic that's going on. I feel like we're never going to stop talking about COVID-19 and everything that's evolved around it, because
Hey, you remember I told you that bitch gonna be here forever? But yeah, go ahead.
No. I remember we had that podcast talk about that.
Yeah.
But remember, I told you I agree. Just like with the flu and everything else that we have, these things just don't go away. But we find vaccines and whatever you want to say, and so it's not as big of a thing as it is. But the reason that we're having a conversation on the topic again now is no longer about just COVID itself. Now we have made it vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers. That's the new big thing that's going on. People who believe in getting vaccinated and people who don't believe in getting vaccinated. And that's where I feel like now that is starting to overshadow the whole COVID-19 thing in general. Like now it's not even about the COVID no more. It's about who got it and who getting shot for it and who not. It's very big in our sports nowadays because, like, you know, a lot of people are against it. And so now, you know, people are trying to mandate that you get vaccinated. As you know, over in Texas, Abbott, he tried to say that you can't no job can mandatory make somebody take the vaccination. But this is the same dude. Yeah, but this the same dude who said it's mandatory that women, you know, but it's just crazy about how the anti thing going. I want to get y'all opinions on anti-vaccination versus vaccines.
I'm gonna just go. Mine's simple. Get vaccinated or not. You know what I'm saying? If not, we know the repercussions. You get it? Possibly death. If you vaccinated, why care? I mean, you can actually still get sick, but I mean, you're not prone to death, right? So why fight so hard about people that's not getting vaccinated? Which I understand you're trying to help them save their lives, but they basically decided, hey, I don't want to get vaccinated, so I'm gonna just take the risk. So let them take that risk, man. You know what I'm saying? They know the outcome, bro. The worst scenario, they can beat it or death. That's it. So let them people live their lives, man. So that's how I feel.
Nah, I agree with you though, cuz I definitely agree with you. What about you, Dale?
Really, man, like as far as like you know, you already know how I go, man. I was going to critical thinking about the shit, man. Like at the end of the day, you know, the divide and conquer is a serious thing. You know what I mean? So like once you divide the people, it's easy to push agendas.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to push agendas.
You know what I mean? So I think this is another, you know, scheme to divide and conquer, push agendas for the future. You know what I mean? We already know these vaccines are gonna be like the new flu shot. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Every 100 or so years, we have some shit, and then some vaccine got to come save us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, all this shit. I think all this shit is planned. All this shit is for the pharmaceuticals and drug people, companies to make money. And, you know what I mean? Could continue so they can see their future. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
We ain't gotta guess what's gonna be happening. We setting it up. You know what I mean? So we can see the future. You know what I mean? Type of shit.
Yeah.
You know they can always see the future, man. So
Yeah. Well, you
I
know,
think,
they always planning ahead.
yeah, man. But actually, I think us as people, you know what I mean? Like, we only know what they show us on the news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't know all the people down here. Like, that's why I tell people, man, just start watching the news so fucking much, man, especially on shit like this. You know what I mean? Watch when somebody getting killed or some shit like that, and you need to, like, hey, this person might be in my neighborhood or some shit. Like, use the news for what you need to use it for. Like, don't watch it. Like, people watch the news like it's a goddamn soap opera and shit. You know what I mean? They walk
And that's
around
really what it
scared.
is, though. It's like a fucking soap
You know what I
opera.
mean? So,
Yo,
but,
I
you know,
agree with her.
I think it's the divide and conquer, you know what I mean, scheme, and you know what I mean, all kind of agendas about to come through the pipe now. You know what I mean? Because they got people against each other, and it's kind of a human nature thing, man. We just competitive, you know, by nature as humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We like to draw lines and do shit like that, man. But I just feel it's all some bullshit, man.
No.
You know what I mean?
I agree with both of y'all too on that. And I want to ask y'all another question before I give my reply to that. And it's still doing this. Now, you know, like I was saying about the mandate that they're trying to mandatory make people, like if you work for certain businesses, it's mandatory. I want to know how y'all feel about it.
We said this shit already, though.
Yeah, I know.
We already talked about this. They did the same thing with the flu. They did the same thing with the flu over 100 fucking years ago, and you don't think they're gonna do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. They gonna make you get this motherfucking vaccine, whether you like it or not.
And so exactly. So
they take it
that,
slow, but
yeah.
Wait till they start putting that pressure on. Yeah,
and
you're gonna fucking money, and you're gonna take that vaccine.
Yeah, and that's what I was really getting to about with these jobs, because like I said, you could see it now in the sports and stuff with the vaccines and anti-vaccine people in the sports versus vaccine people, like Kyrie, like old boy from the Wizards. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I know Draymond Green said something very powerful, and what's the name? LeBron, and you know they've been getting backlash, especially LeBron.
Yeah,
it seems like no matter what LeBron do, whether he say A or B or C or D, somebody's gonna have something to say about him. But
that's the weird. Hold on, that's the weird thing about LeBron, though. You know what I mean? Like any other time, like remember they had the whole shut up and dribble shit.
Yeah.
But now it's because of a fucking vaccine, and he's pretty much just saying all he said is like, hey, if people have their own bodies and make their own decisions for their family. You know what I mean?
So
that's all he's saying. But he also said that he has taken the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
They want this man to do a whole fucking commercial about the vaccine, and that is the fucking commercial.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated, and my whole family is.
Yeah. And the crazy,
basically push their agenda for them.
Yeah. But the crazy part is the same people, like you said, Bill, that didn't want him to speak on nothing political and wanted him to shut up and dribble are the same people now saying that he should be at the forefront of speaking out about political vaccination, and because it's become political. It's no longer about the vaccination, COVID ID. Now it's a political thing, whether or not you should or should do it. And Draymond said something powerful, I think. I mean, because and I'm gonna tell you what really stood out with me about what he said. And it's the key thing, and I've been speaking on this since the beginning of our podcast, me and you, Bill. You know, everybody really want to sit here and say, oh, America is the land of the free. And it's not. It's nothing in America is free. Not one thing in this motherfucker. You have, and like I tell people, you have partial freedoms. You have freedoms that come with consequences. So that's not freedom. When you're free of something, you're free of consequence. You're free of everything. We're not free, and we're definitely not the freest country there is. And and that's what Draymond was speaking on. He said, "If you
talking about free country, shit, motherfucker, we make billions of dollars a year off of taking motherfuckers free."
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's the punchline. of the whole COVID and the whole America joke that we have. America is a joke because we sit here and try to stand on all these liberties that they say we have, and then turn around and shit on the same liberties that you say that people have. And it's a conundrum. And I say it's funny, but it's like you can't do nothing when you know what you're saying. When you in your feelings or when the shit hurts so bad you can't do nothing but laugh. That's kind of how it is living in America. It's like it's so fucked up that you can't do nothing but laugh at shit. And but he was saying like, you want me to go force Wiggins, and that was a dude who wasn't vaccinated. You want me because Wiggins is playing for the Warriors to go and say, oh, you need to go get vaccinated. I need to go convince them. But I thought this was the land of the free. I thought this was the land for you to make your choice and have a choice. And then you want to sit here and say, now you don't have a choice because, oh, well, you killing people. You got the opportunity to kill people. Listen, you motherfucking colonizers were killing niggas like flies. It was shit on the goddamn Barbie. And it wasn't nobody trying to stand up for that shit like how y'all motherfuckers standing up for this vaccination. Like, I just hate when we get into this point where we try to make it seem like America ain't America. Like, America has never been for the total good of people. It's never been that kind of country. From the time that the people from across seas came over to this country and took shit from people, it's always been about who's the most powerful, who has the most. So with the anti-vaccination and vaxxer people, is my biggest question for the whole thing is COVID-19 a natural born, virus, or was this made in the lab? I feel like that's what's most important about this virus. If the virus was a natural thing that just happened and people was getting sick, then I feel like, yeah, people should get the vaccination. It shouldn't even be a discussion. But if this shit was made in a lab and man made this virus and it's out here taking out people, why the fuck would I then turn around and trust the same people who made this virus and affecting people to then give me the cure for this shit? It's just like, that's why I said
most of that shit is man-made though.
That's what I'm.
All these vaccinations, these babies take when they come in the world, all that shit was man-made, bro.
So this is what I'm.
Taking vaccines.
So this is what I'm saying, and I can be honest with you. I've been out of the military since 2011, I think it was 2011, 2012. I haven't did any vaccination system, but I tell people this. While I was in the military, and I was in there for almost 10 years.
So you're an anti-vaxxer, huh?
I am. I guess I'm an anti-vaxxer, and I'm not against vaccinations. I'm not against people getting vaccinations. And I tell people like this because when I was in the military for almost 10 years, these people pumped me with so much shit in my system, from going back and forth across country to just having to take your regular immunization shots, that I feel like anything that you get, my body should be able to fight it off now. If it's not, then damn it, that's time for me to go. Because like you done pumped me so full of shit that my body should have built up antibodies and antitoxins for whatever it is that's coming. And I know that's being like kind of foolish, but I'm just saying I'm at the point in my life where I don't want you just shooting me up with shit. I don't care if it's FDA approved or not, bro. I don't want you shooting me with any shit in my body, bro. That's just plain and simple. Like I tell people, but I've never been a big person to go around taking a lot of pills. I don't go around taking a lot of over-the-counter medicine. I'm one of those people. I kind of like sweat my my sickness out. I ride it out and kind of let my body fight it for itself. So, but my biggest thing is we shouldn't, instead of having the anti-vaxxers versus the vaxxers, we should be all mad at the governments that's making these viruses and putting them out here. Man. That's who everybody should be mad about. It shouldn't be mad because it shouldn't matter because at the end of the day, you're overlooking the most important thing about this COVID shit. It was that it was made in a lab and got out. So if you wasn't over,
I just said divide, conquer, push.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you, but that's what I'm saying. If people would focus, more on what's the root problem instead of just all the mini problems, because I feel like that's what we're doing. We focus too much on the small problems and not the root problem that some government, multiple governments probably, because everybody does it, government does it, goes in and make these viruses and try to make a chemical weapon against somebody, and they try to make progressive virus to fight off other viruses. So we're always playing God, and that's what it comes down to. We have always tried to play God. And this is what happens when you play God. You end up getting some shit that end up fucking people up. And now you want to find an excuse to why, instead of being like, nah, we fucked up, we put this virus out, we ain't got no cure for it, it's fucking people up. Whether you get the virus or whether you got the antivirus, you can still die, bitch. Plain and simple. That's my take on the whole COVID-19 anti-vaxxers versus vaxxers.
Did they actually even apprehend anybody that was a part of that the one that made the viruses?
Nah, ain't nobody getting no
I
arrested.
haven't heard nothing about it.
Of course not. You ain't hear nothing about where it originated at anymore. Because remember, it was the whole "it's over there in China" thing. The Chinese people that said it. Now, it ain't none of that no more now. Now it's about whether you're vaccinated or you're not. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And you know, and like
crazy. And that shit claimed, like, it claimed what?
It claimed millions of people, bro.
400 million.
Yeah, millions.
That's
millions
in the U.S., I believe, or is it all around?
It don't matter, bro.
But I mean, somebody should be held accountable for them goddamn lives that's lost off of this Mayman virus, man.
But
and I feel like we need justice around here, man. What's going on, man?
They ain't giving us no answers. But yeah, man. We always got to speak on a little bit about that stuff because, like I said, this is going on in the world right now. The next topic that I want to talk about, and these next few topics, they kind of close to my heart because one is about the great comedian Dave Chappelle. You know, I spoke about Dave always been one of my top favorite comedians because the one thing that makes Dave Chappelle so funny and what makes him so great is that he always took real situations and he made joke of them and he made light, but he always got something in the message when he's telling his jokes. There's always some truth, and it's always that uncomfortable truth. It's always that uncomfortable truth behind his jokes, the things that people don't want to talk about.
Every time.
So, for people that don't know, Dave Chappelle came out with his last Netflix, part of his Netflix deal, because he had a deal with them to put out a certain amount of stand-ups over a certain amount of time. And this last one is called The Closer. And I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen it, go see it. To me, it's one of his best comedy stand-ups, like by far one of his best ones, man. He did it. Damn. He was brilliant. Yeah, bro, he was brilliant. It was beautiful, bro. I loved it, bro. And I ain't gonna lie.
You seen it?
Yeah, I seen it, man. I almost cried tears of joy, man.
Listen, I almost cried, and I am not capping.
It gotta be good, bro. It gotta be good.
He killed that shit.
Goddamn, Damon Wayans came out and said he freed a slave. He freed a comedian slave.
Wait, who? Wait. Say that again. Who said that? Oh shit! No, but listen, I'm trying to tell you, bro. And you know, when I watched this podcast, when I watched the stand up, by the time it was at the end, bro, like real nigga shit, bro, I had almost had tears in my eyes because I'm like, this nigga done it. Like he did it. Yeah. And then that final joke, the final joke for the whole thing was such a heart touching joke, but it was so real that and I kind of don't want to spoil it for you, Bill, but it's like I kind of want to talk about it. Yeah, so I really kind of don't want to talk about it until you actually watch it so you can get the full effect. But I'm going to talk about what's been the problem in the news. So clearly transgender, LGBT transgender, and some out west, out of nowhere Black coalition came and, you know, they came for Dave Chappelle head and Netflix, trying to get Netflix to ban, you know, to take down his comedy special. And, you know, we have spoken on this podcast.
That shit's so stupid. Why would they take his shit down when they paid this motherfucker for it already?
Already paid him for it. They paid him his money. People don't understand that they paid Dave Chappelle this money way before he even did the show. They gave him this money for a certain amount of shows. So that, but then the funny part is they keep saying that he's like, I don't care if they take it down because I'm already paid for it. They paid me for this already.
Exactly.
They already paid me for service rendered. So you canceling now doesn't change nothing. I still got checked. And then people it's like the number 2, number 3 video on Netflix. So millions of people have already seen this. Many of people have already recorded this. They don't use their DVR to record this shit, so that even if you try to take it down, people still gonna be able to watch it.
It's still gonna keep coming back out.
Yeah, it's still gonna. People gonna people gonna put that shit out there. So, but
Right.
in light of that, I'm gonna get to my question about what we talked about, but I want to tell you everything that happened. Netflix CEO came out and said that he's not gonna take it down, and he's for Dave Chappelle, and a few transgender people who were attacking Dave Chappelle at the actual corporate buildings of Netflix were put on suspension. I don't want to say they was fired, but I know something happened to them where they was like suspended or something, because like one of the transgender people was trying to bust into a meeting that they ain't part of. People love to take shit too far, especially the alphabet community. They are just so extra when they try to get their fucking point across. They make up all new kind of words. They make up new just to get their point across. And low key, they said this in his comedy.
Yeah,
this is shit that don't make sense with me about this whole situation, bro. And then we was talking about the land of the free. We're talking about equality. What the fuck is equality? Equality is somebody being who they are and saying whatever the fuck that comes with that, and being able to do that and not be judged for it. You know what I mean? But anything like I don't see how just like you said, the LGBTQ. You know what I mean? How do you stand on equality when you're not letting people be who the fuck they are?
Exactly. And that's the conundrum.
Accept them for who they are.
Exactly.
But you don't want to accept nobody for who they is.
Exactly.
They're gonna start a fucking war that they're gonna lose, man. You just need to go back into the shadows and just keep helping your people, man. Cause don't nobody care, bro. There's so much real shit that's happening. Like we really don't care. They want us to care. That's why they keep putting all these fucking narratives. And
oh God, he said, "Don't nobody care. You a wild boy."
We don't care about Nas X, man. Y'all putting this shit out there. Like, I just want you to Superman shit. They done made Superman bisexual.
Listen, I'm glad you spoke that up, because exactly. And I'm glad you spoke that up. And
about my childhood now, bro. Superman like 50, like like 70 damn years old, bro. He's super fucking man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
like, what the fuck?
You see what I put on our social media page? I guess it's no longer Superman. It's Super. I identify as they. That's gonna be his new name. Because
that's the thing. Like, bro, have some creativity. If you want to start something, you're trying to push, a movement. You got to create. You can't go back and take the shit that's already been done.
Well,
did I say that shit?
No, listen. Me and Pablo had this same conversation, and I told him the reason. But I told him,
don't go fuck up some shit that people already like.
No, I'm gonna tell you like this. I agree 100% with both of y'all saying, and I told Terry this. I told Pablo this. I said, hey, them people trying to get the fans of people that's already fans to come over to their side. Yeah, that's 100% what they're doing. They're being finessers and hustlers. They're trying to go ahead and play with your feelings so that if you don't accept the new Superman son or whatever it is as being by,
you're a bad person.
You a bad person. They know what they doing. They know it. And like I told Pablo, they can't do it. The reason they don't want to make a new person and make a new superhero this because ain't nobody going to accept it except for the people. And it's not going to get a biggest push, and it's not going to get as much love as that. And so they got to go take something that's already got a whole bunch of love on it and sprinkle their sauce on it. That's all they trying to do.
Yeah, man. That's
whack.
But
leave Superman alone, man. That's my dog. Leave Superman alone, y'all. Please, I better leave him alone, man.
They supposed to drop in there around November the 9th, man. So
we ride by Superman now. We gonna get this shit canceled. We gonna cancel y'all motherfucking ass.
Listen, the crazy part too about that shit is that it seemed like the LGBT, and I don't even want to say LGBT because I be getting tongue tied sometimes trying to say all the letters. I'm gonna just call their ass the alphabet mafia, like I've been calling their ass. And they're like a mafia. They're a fucking gang. Yeah. They're bullies. Like, I don't care what you say. You could tell me that they're trying to bully you for all the right causes, but at the end of the day, a bully is a
trying to
fucking bully.
kill. They ain't killing you literally, but they
Listen.
killing your livelihood, man.
Yeah, listen,
You
them
know, they
motherfuckers.
fucking up your name to where you can never
Yeah.
fucking make money again. Type shit.
Them
You know what I
motherfuckers
mean?
bullies.
That's some mafia shit. You're right.
They bullies, bro. They bullies. Like I said,
Yeah.
motherfuckers always want when, like and me and Pablo and I just spoke, like I said this a lot when I just be having random conversations with them. When it matters to you, then it's not bullying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're fighting for a cause or you're fighting for a just cause in your eyes, it's not considered bullying. It's just me fighting for my cause. But if somebody come against you and they do the same thing, it's bullying to them. And you know, and that's what happens with the alphabet community. And I'm not saying, and I want to put this out here, I'm not saying that it's all of them, because I understand that the alphabet community is broken up into clearly all the alphabets. So it's like you could be anything from A to Z, and then you can be a number and a symbol too. So I'm not sitting here saying that all the alphabet community is like this, but it seems like you don't hear any kind of backlash from the alphabet community when one of their community, when one of their community is going too far with what they're doing. It's kind of like they just let the shit happen. And I think that's a problem. And we was talking about this through messaging. I was like, now we know the two biggest movements have been the alphabet mafia and the women, and they kind of overshadow the Black Lives Matter movement. Like that shit got kind of pushed to the side because, and I think that's what Dave was speaking on too. Like you transgenders, the transgender people and the people, you want to fight for rights and get them ahead of the people who've been fighting for rights for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Exactly.
And why would you think that people just going to go along with that? Like nobody's going to have any kind of pushback.
Since we talking about time, you know what I mean? I gotta say something, man, because you know we well rounded, like, and plus we don't have anybody present that's from that community to defend them. So you know, as a podcast and as being professionals at this shit, we ain't professional yet. We ain't like out of about 10,000 hours. Shit, we probably on like 3,000, 3,500, some shit like that. So, you know what I mean? But I definitely got to say this. You know what I mean? Like, certain people will say that they have to push agenda and be so, serious and forward with it because they have to make up so much ground, for so many years that they had no voices. You know what I mean? But so to catch up, they have to do all the stuff they're doing to, make up all this ground that they been losing for years. You know what I mean? That's what I think somebody would say. How do y'all feel about that, though?
I'm trying to figure out what fucking voice they trying to have. Like what?
I mean, but okay, so okay. At the end of the day, like imagine we were growing up, like with gay people, like, and we grew up in the fucking 80s and 90s, bro. Shit, like people been gay forever. It's been gay people forever since the beginning of time, bro, and they never had a voice until now. So like I got to devil's advocate. Maybe that's why they trying to make a ground. Maybe that's why they feel so angry about situation. Maybe that's why they so cold blooded with it. You know what I mean? Because they had the light before. You know what I mean? And
to be honest with you, Bill, I feel like you might be 90% right, and that's why they feel like they got to be such an aggressive with their cause and their push is because they feel like they got to make up so much like ground or catch up with all the other movements or whatever it is that is. But this is what I would say to somebody like that. Okay, yeah, you can do all that you want, but guess what? Just like you trying to speed up all this other shit, that means that all the other backlash that come that people of other movements that have been fighting for hundreds of years, you're going to get all that shit in a fast pace. You're going to get all that shit just as quick as you're trying to push your movement. So, and it still goes back to
the perfect time with social media.
Yeah, exactly. And now exactly. So now, instantly. So now you're going to get everybody's feelings instantly. So where other people had to fight through it and they didn't get their voices heard because there wasn't technology or there wasn't a platform for them to have it, and you now have this platform, and so technically what you're saying is since I got the advantage, I'm gonna go ahead and use it, which is okay. But guess what comes with that? It comes with all the stuff that you're getting. You get all the stuff that comes along with it. You don't get to skip the shit.
Just like every other movement did.
Exactly. You don't
got backlash.
Exactly. But that's what I feel like that whole movement trying to do. They want all the benefits without having any of the consequences, any of the drawback, any of the the things that come with a movement. You're always going to have pushback with a movement. And they want to skip the pushback. They just want everybody to accept their movement and move on. And that's the biggest, I feel like that's what's hurting them the most. So,
what you feel, T?
I was just sitting back thinking like, damn, like, because back then, you know, they was fighting for gay marriage, and then when, you know, it actually was, it went through in one state, and I was just sitting back like, damn, good for them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let people, you know, let them, you know, guys or girls marry who they want to marry, you know. So I was cool with that, but when I just feel like they just doing the most right now, bro. Like, like I don't know, man.
you know what's not to cut you off, but I know you're trying to, you know, get your words together. But what's always kind of baffling for me about a movement is the movement, they want people to understand what they're trying to push, and they want people to see it from their point of view, but then at the same time they don't want to see it from the person who's going against them point of view. And I just don't understand that. Like, you want people to be open-minded about the things that you want them to be open-minded about it, but you're not willing to be open-minded about what they're saying. And I feel like that's what a lot of people get lost in it. It's like, just like you feel strongly about something, the other people feel strongly about it too. And it shouldn't be about right or wrong. It should be about, okay, where can we find a common ground to make it better? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me use an example, bro. Like, even like, let's talk racism, bro. At the end of the day, like I've said this a million times, at the end of the day, let's just say white people wasn't in charge of everything. Let's say black people was in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the day, black people gonna do everything they can to make sure that they stay where they at, you know what I mean, in life. You know what I mean?
Of course.
In the food chain. You know what I mean? But like everybody say, oh, they are racist. Like I don't think we would do it different because like we're more of 11 people. But at the end of the day, we still gonna do whatever we gotta do for us to stay in that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely understand what you're saying.
It's just cold blooded like that, man. That's just the way life is, man. Like at the end of the day, we human, but we all animals.
I mean, but. And it go back to what we spoke about too, to exactly what you're saying. When has the oppressor ever stopped being the oppressor just because they woke up one day and said, you know what? I don't
Why
feel
would
like
the oppressor want to be you?
Yeah, exactly. Why would the oppressor ever want to be like, you know what, bitch, I feel like being oppressed today. Let me go switch it up with these niggas. So, you know, I done spoke on that, and we done spoke on that since the beginning of this podcast. So I agree with you 100% with what you're saying. I'm glad that you brought.
I got up for 90. I was at 90. Now I'm at 100. I'm on it.
Hey, and you segue this perfectly into my next conversation because it's all tied into the same thing. Jon Gruden has been put out there.
I want to know about this, bro. Like what the fuck did he say?
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I got you. That's what I'm here for. Because like I said, this is another topic that I feel like I really want to talk about.
I don't be fake caring with these people, man.
Yeah.
You know, worry about what I'm doing.
Well, you know me. The one thing I'm gonna do when it's sports season, nigga, it's sports season for me. So I'm like in all fucking sports. I'm all about sports talk. If anybody knows me, I love watching sports radio. I love listening to sports podcasts. I love watching the debate shows. That get me through. I ain't gonna lie. From the time I wake up to at least maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm all sports. Everything is gonna be something about sports. You know me. I love that shit. But and Jon Gruden, the ex-coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, ex-Super Bowl champion, ex-Super Bowl coach of the Buccaneers, you know, so, you know, he actually very close to the Florida boys of us because, you know, he gave Buccaneers their Super Bowl, even though back in the days, I even said this, I don't really give it to Gruden because Tony Dungy had already built that team.
I gotta say this, sorry.
Go ahead.
I ain't close to the motherfuckers. Fuck Tampa Bay.
No, me too. I'm
a
Falcon, baby. And I never been a I never
I
been
don't
a
give a damn Florida.
Yeah, I never been a Buccaneers fan too, so it's always been fucking. But I remember when John Gruden was with the Buccaneers, and you know, they had the Chucky dolls, and I remember back in the days, man, because you know we got a lot of fake fans in our family that, you know, they jump ship with every fucking team, you know. There's a lot of them, bro, and I hope they saying this because I ain't scared to call you motherfuckers. You go from they go from being Miami fans to the Buccaneers. Uncle Tim, he the main person. He go from being a Miami fan to a Buccaneers fan to a Dallas fan. Like that shit it's that bitch a custard repeat. That bitch is just a custard circle of repeat. And he really, whoever got a better season that year, that's who he with. And he ain't the only one. We got Stan and we got all these other people that do this. And I never respected people who could be a fan of a team that they not from. Like if I'm from Florida or if I'm from Georgia or if I ain't never had no kind of ties with this place, I'm not finna be a fan. I'm not finna go be a Dallas fan just because Dallas the best team. Like I just don't like those kind of people who be fans with like, oh, they the best team, so let me jump on their bandwagon. Oh, Brady the best, let me go jump on New England. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been one of those kind of fans. I'm gonna stick with my Florida teams and I'm gonna stick with the teams I always been. I'm not saying that you can't like these other teams, but to try to make it seem like you just this dedicated fan, it always bothered me. But let's get back to the point ahead. John Gruden. Back when before I get into that, John Gruden has emails out of him saying racial, misogynistic, womenizing, and anti-gay things. And he has a lot of these emails. Yeah, it's a lot of it. And this
I thought it was racist shit, to be honest.
No,
so it went into a race.
Listen, no, wait. Listen, let me finish tell you, then I'm gonna get to the heart of why this is such an important conversation. These emails come back from when he wasn't even in the NFL. He was working for ESPN as their top analyst, you know, and he was the quarterback whisperer, and people just really had this colonizer on a pedestal.
Old shit.
Yeah. So they pulled out these things. So clearly he said something. So what happened was, it was breaking news. Somebody sent an email to the New York Times or the Washington Post. I can't remember which one got it first. I think it was the Washington Post. They sent an email that he sent to Demarius Smith, which is a black dude who was in the NFL running, you know, in the office. He sent some racial things to him in a very angry email. And this happened back in 2011. So this got leaked. So now when this was leaked, Gruden came onto the, you know, TV and said, hey, I don't got a racist bone in my body. I'm not no racist person. That's not even me. So I'm not even gonna really address it. I'm just gonna let it know that I'm sorry for saying it, but I ain't really gonna worry about it. And he literally
what did he say again? What did he say again? My bad, girl. He
literally said that when they asked him about these things, about the racial things that he said in this message, he said that he doesn't have a racist bone in his body.
I mean, what was this? What did he say though?
They haven't gave us everything, because you know how the news is, and especially with sports, they not gonna say exact word for word what that person said, especially if it's degrading to somebody. They just not gonna do it on the TV show. So we would have to look up, and I don't think they put it out for the public eye yet, because the problem is the email came from an investigation that the people are having, that the league is having against the Washington football team. This is where the emails originated from. The Washington football team is under investigation for, you know, but you know, the Washington football team been under investigation for racial undertone and not treating people right. Yeah. So, but what happened was Gruden had, at the time, Allen, their general manager, him and Gruden was best friends. So Gruden was sending the dude Allen, who worked for the Washington football team at the time, all these heated, nasty emails. So like I said, they're not going to say exactly what he said, but they said that, I guess the black dude, he said that Demarius Smith, the black dude who he was talking about, he got big lips, like you know, big, you know, saying something about his big black lips, and you know what I'm saying, you know, which is pretty much you're attacking this man's race, because, you know.
But you see what I just did? Like this is what black people do. Like when they secure themselves, like when they hear white people some of that racist shit be funny, bro. Like I just laugh at some like a lot of
Exactly,
racist shit.
but
It should be funny.
you proving my point that when it's so fucked up, all you could do is laugh about it because it's like. But then you laugh because it's not even surprising to black people. It's not surprising. Hey, I know it, and even if you watch sports over the last couple of weeks, black people is trying to make it seem. And this is what's crazy. It was a lot of black people coming to Gruden's defense before we had the full information. And this is what I was speaking about. And I'm gonna finish telling you the whole story before we get into the full conversation. So. Gruden came on and he kind of brushed off the whole racism thing. Cool. You thought that Gruden was still gonna have his job. Then because I guess shit didn't happen how it's supposed to, somebody sent some more emails, which was like almost 14 of them to the New York Post, or one of them, and it showed that he was saying more racist stuff, more womenizing stuff, more misogynistic stuff, more
anti-gay. You gotta pay
stuff.
these people, man. You gotta pay these people, man.
So
they seen he got this $100 million.
Mhm.
He didn't pay me shit, and I got this.
Mhm.
I said it. They sent it to him like, "Hey, I got these old."
Hey, I remember what you
Yeah,
said.
$100 million.
Yeah. So
Oh, man, all I wanted was $100,000.
yeah. So he had so now he done resigned. He didn't even get fired because him and Mark, what's the name, the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, they real close friends, because you got to realize that Gruden worked for Mark Davis's dad, Al Davis, when he was in charge of the Raiders. So him and Mark are real close friends. So they got so Mark allowed Gruden to resign, but he's getting a lot of backlash now for all the different things that he said, and they got emails from 2011 to 2018 of him saying racist, misogynistic, womenizing, anti-gay things. And you got to realize too that John Gruden has the first openly gay person on his team.
Yeah, you do.
So it's a lot of things tied into this. So, and this is like I said, this is a deep conversation, and we're gonna get.
And it's crazy because they gave this motherfucker so much money. Like the only thing I want to know is like how much money do he get to keep? Like,
well, listen, because he quit, because he resigned.
He forfeited.
Whatever. But whatever money he already got, they can't come and get it from him because he resigned. He already quit.
Exactly.
So the only thing they can do is keep the money that they haven't paid him yet, which is $60 million.
I mean, but think like shit. The way the NFL works, like you get guaranteed money. So like if your contract $100 million, you might get $25 million guaranteed. So like you get that money right now. But
we all know when it comes to the NFL, it's not like the NBA. With the NBA, you got guaranteed money. With NFL, you have incentives. You have to get the full 100.
You still get a certain amount.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But when you break the contract, when you do something that violates the contract, you don't get the max payout because you violated something in the contract. He has violated something in the contract. So yeah.
Does he have to pay back?
Nah, see, that's a different story. I don't know if he have to pay back anything. I doubt they're gonna make him pay back anything, because like I said, you got to realize that him and Mark Davis, the owner of the team, they're like best friends. So is he really finna make his best friend pay him back all this money? Because like I was telling you, Mark Davis didn't even really want him to quit. They thought that the shit was gonna blow over, but then they found more emails. So when it was, and that's what I want to talk to y'all about. It seems like when it comes to being indifference against black people, we can always, let's move forward. Let's brush that under the bridge. Oh, that happened so long again. But then if it's something that has to do with the LGBT alpha mafia and women, now it's going too far. Now we got to step on the bitch neck because the shit done went too far. And
that shit about as bad as you step on a chihuahua, boy. Kill a chihuahua.
Remember, that was a big movement back in the days. But like you see, like these movements only matter when it's at black people's expense. That's how I feel. These movements only really matter when it's at to the black person dispense. You know what I'm saying? So like now, it wasn't big enough to fire Gruden because he said something racist about black people. We should just get over that and move forward because it happened so long ago. But because he said some shit about women and trans and you know, and gay people, now that's just too far.
Bro, I agree with the moving on part though. Cause shit, like at the end of the day, like I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, bro. And shit,
No, but
that was that over like what 10 years ago.
Nah, man, I'm not like I'm not gonna allow you to move on. Fuck that. I'm not letting you move on because because look at it like this. I'm gonna tell you like this. Let me.
Fucked up shit. I was probably saying some fucked up shit 10 years ago, dog.
No, but I'm
probably still saying the F word. You know,
but listen,
the mafia don't like.
What I'm telling you, this is.
But I don't feel no more, and I don't feel the same way no more.
But the thing is about Gruden, he hasn't showed any kind of. You got to realize, if Gruden would have never got caught with the emails, his actions would have never changed because he didn't get caught. So he doesn't have to say that. He doesn't have to stop being racist or anti-gay or anything because he wasn't caught. So he really didn't change over these years. He was still the same person. Now you want to say, oh, he can change now? Yeah, because the motherfucker got caught. But if he wouldn't have got caught, it wouldn't have been nothing to change. What would he have to change if nobody caught him? He's still that same person that he was back in 2011 because he wasn't caught back in 2011. The only way you can make change is when you realize that there's something wrong with your actions. But if you never got caught with something wrong with your action, you're not changing. So I'm not giving Gruden the pass to be like, oh, he probably changed because it happened 10 years ago. No, bitch, you didn't change because you wasn't caught. Nobody knew you was being this way. So, but my thing is this, like I told people, and this is what I've been trying to speak about all the time with this podcast, it's about position of power. When white people in a position of power, it's no consequences. You're in the good boy club. So, and this is why I say this. This shit happened in 2011. These are emails. So you know what you do with emails? You send them to people. Right? That's what you do with an email. It gets sent to people. So you're telling me that he sent these emails out back in 2011 and nobody thought that it was something wrong with what he said until now in 2021?
Exactly.
That's the bigger problem.
Different time. Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, that's where the bigger problem come in. Because I want to know who knew about these emails back in 2011 and didn't say nothing then. Why was it okay for him to do it then and not okay now? Because racism is, if racism bad,
you're right though.
Yeah, if racism, exactly, you're part of the problem.
He was okay with it back then.
You was clearly, whoever you sent these emails to, you was okay with that shit back then. And that's what I'm saying. Racism is not a problem in America, so that's why it was not a problem back in 2011. Because guess what, being gay and stuff, that shit racism always been a problem in America. Shit. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, these things have always been a problem in America, but it's never been a problem for white people because white people was the ones they're usually the ones that's using racism and using their power over it. You know what I'm saying? They're in a position of power, like Gruden. Gruden, you're in a position of power, so nobody's gonna check you. Remember what we talked about back in the days about who's checking the checkers? If you're at the top of the food chain, nobody's checking you, Gruden. So he don't have to worry about what he's saying about people because ain't nobody checking him. Because come on, think about this. Gruden is the only motherfucker I know won one Super Bowl, and you people treat this bitch like he the greatest coach ever. This nigga has a losing record in his career. He got one winning season. And that's what the Buccaneers, and they treat this nigga like he the greatest.
He went on and got a fucking big ass opportunity to become a coach again.
Yeah, nigga went from being exactly. And then think about this. This colonizer went from being nobody. Like he was always, I guess, a decent coach, but he wasn't no great coach. He went to go. He inherited the Buccaneers, got a Super Bowl. People put him on a pedestal. Next thing you know, he working for
because of South
and D Brooks and Keyshawn Johnson and all these black people that he won these championship on the back of their book. Yeah. And so, but the crazy part is, and this is why I say we got to stop, and I always say this, we got to stop putting people on pedestals. We got to stop putting these celebrities and these people who be on TV on pedestals because at the end of the day, they're just human beings. They're regular fucking people. But Gruden was put on a pedestal. He was able to go to be at ESPN and become the head sports analyst. They made him the quarterback whisperer. Remember, he had his own show where he interviewed quarterbacks and take them into the film room, and he break down film with all the quarterbacks because he was the quarterback whisperer. That nigga ain't never had a good quarterback. Nigga, you had Brad Johnson when you won your Super Bowl. What the fuck is you talking about? You a quarterback whisperer.
He been having problems with his quarterback the whole fucking time.
Yeah, you ain't never. That's what I said. That motherfucker ain't never been no quarterback whisperer to me. But like I said, I understand. He was the old typical white boy. He done went down and won some. You know, they gonna put him on the pedestal. But my thing is, like I said, another thing that's alarming about the situation was this happened when it was at ESPN. So ESPN, you didn't have no problems with Gruden talking this kind of way about people, and he was working for you back in and all this time? Because I ain't hear ESPN come out and say nothing about, well,
exactly.
damn.
That's a good question. Did he send that fucking shit to somebody that's still working at ESPN right now?
We don't know because nigga, it's
that's
like
a good fucking question, bro.
They say that it's over like 600,000 emails that they got to go through, not of John Gruden, not from John Gruden, but just in the whole investigation that they're doing. There's 600,000 emails that they got to go through and determine what's good and bad.
They ain't about to find shit.
But listen, no. They already found something because, like, that's why I was telling you, they really wasn't even investigating John Gruden, nigga. They was investigating the Washington football team. They just stumbled upon some shit that he said to the Washington football, and that's how he got caught up. They wasn't even looking for Gruden. He just a casualties of war. He just
so these motherfuckers about to fine comb this motherfucker.
Yeah, they finna fine cone this so that, and so what I want to see is how many people gonna try to get ahead of it and just come on now. All you racist white people, come on out now, because they finna comb through this. Now let me not sit here and say that, oh, they finna just go ahead and throw everybody that's out here under the bus. No, because a lot of these people some of these people finna be owners. Some of the people, they finna be big money people in this stuff. And they not gonna throw these people under the bus because at the end of the day, it's all about money. These motherfuckers ain't trying to lose money over the reputation of a couple of niggas' feelings being hurt, a couple of gay people feelings being hurt, a couple of women feelings people hurt. Their feelings don't matter when it comes to this money. They're not finna put that above the money. Come on, let's be real. Let's just be real. They're gonna make somebody be the scapegoat for the people that really did the shit. Let's just put that out there. And Gruden is one of the people, he got caught in the line of fire. You shouldn't have been over there in that area, so you got hit with a stray. That's all I'm saying.
All in all, they're gonna take care of that boy anyways, man. So,
well, they don't even have to take care of him. He already been good. That nigga been good. When has Gruden not been good? So like that's why I was so
millionaire the whole time.
That's why it's no sweat off his back, bro.
Exactly. That's why it was so easy for him to walk away, bro. Exactly. It was so easy for him to walk away because I'm good, bitch, whether I'm here or not. And then you got to remember that Gruden didn't even want to be there at first. Mike Davis begged Gruden to come out there. So it's like, nigga, he over there like, niggas, I didn't want to be here anyways. I was just doing this because you told me you'd give me $100 million. So, and I already done got 20 something.
Like shit. I mean, y'all made me think of something. I know
you put some change in my pocket.
I know we ain't got a lot of time, but shit. What happened with the NBA shit to where like how many people got out of like 14 people?
Oh, you talking about that? No, you talking about the 18 people that got caught in that insurance scam, with Medicaid. You know what, bro? And what's the most crazy part about it is 90% of the motherfuckers are black. I don't know, but I know that the people that I done seen, for all the people, because I didn't see the whole list of who everything is, but everybody that I done seen that they done showed their actual name has been black. And the crazy part is, this is what I try to tell people, and this is the honest God truth. Them people, the people that was trying to scam, and they scammed for chump, compared to the money that these people done made through their career in the military, that's chump change compared to the money they done made. They frauded the NBA medical thing for I want to say $4 million. And it's like, some of you motherfuckers was making $5-6
between
million.
18 people?
Yeah,
Between 18 people?
yeah, between 18 people. That's chump change compared to them people. These people done made millions over these 20, 15, 12 years that they was in the
Off
military.
of their likeness, off of their jerseys,
Off of whatever, off of the opportunities they got after the NBA. So, you know, but it's like the one thing about people is wherever they can get an easy lick, because that's really what it was. Let's call it for what it was. It was a lick. They found the easy lick and they took it. But what they don't understand now is that all the people who really have problem and really needed that medical money, they gonna get extra scrutinized and extra. It's gonna be harder for them to get the money, and they actually need it. You see what I'm saying? Because these people didn't even need the money. They just saw it was an easy lick to get a couple of little dollars, and they took advantage of it. So,
you know, it always takes one person to fuck everything up.
It always take one person to fuck everything up. But the one thing about us as black people, every time we take a step forward, we take 2 steps back, bro. We shoot our own self in the foot. That's always been kind of how we do it.
Yeah,
but like I
seen that headline, I'm like, God damn, like they had got fucking shit, the two, the Darius Miles and what's the
Big Baby.
They got the podcast together. They got these boys got a podcast. I guess they making some money now.
Yeah,
both of them went down over that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was crazy when I seen that headline.
And like you said though, that the crazy part is that you already had a platform where you could make millions of dollars, like because you was already an NBA player.
Yeah.
So there's always a platform for you to be able to, you know what I'm saying, make more money. Like me, you and Pablo, we trying to do podcasts off the strength of us just being us. We don't have fans that knew us beforehand and millions of thousands of fans. You already got millions of thousands of fans that's going to support you from your exploits in sports. So, like I said, bro, I'm glad you said that, because that did ring in my mind too, because I seen the same thing, bro, about that with the players doing that.
You know what I mean? We've been talking about a lot of sports, so we got to throw that in there, bro.
No.
They better get some prison time and shit.
I mean, listen, when you listen, when you defraud some shit, bro, you going to prison. It's prison time, bro. Just like, think about it with this PPP loan fraud shit. Yeah, you motherfuckers is going to prison, bro. Because think about it. The worst thing that you can do in America is steal money from the government. Even though they be stealing money from us since the beginning of this time, the one thing you better not do, bitch, is get your money back. You better not get your fucking money back. I don't care, like Dave Chappelle said, I don't care if I bum at a show or not. I ain't giving you niggas none of your money back. And that's how the government feels. Like, bitch, I ain't giving you not a cent back, bro. That's definitely how it goes. So, you know, it's been I think a very spicy week or two in just the world going on, whether, like I said, with the COVID, with the racism tension that's going on, with the movements, this movement versus that movement, this whole cancel culture thing that we have, and like I spoke on this too before we get off the podcast about the cancel culture movement, that I feel like a lot of black people are way too cool with that movement. You know what I'm saying? People of color are way too cool with the cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because the one thing you'll never see white people do is cancel these fucking Chuck.
They at the forefront of it. Like as far as like pushing it and all the talking and chatter, like the black people in the front of it, the white people behind they press the button.
Yep. Because they did. But think about it. You don't see none of these white, like I said, you don't see none of these white cultures canceling none of their people. These white, and think about this.
They sacrifice every now and then.
Look, somebody. The colonizer culture, they not sacrificing shit. Think about it. All the villains of America, they're movie stars.
But they just sacrificed somebody, dog.
Who?
Like shit. Like the movie motherfuckers, like like shit. Somebody always gets sacrificed in the white culture.
No,
Like,
no,
these
you
motherfuckers-
crazy. You crazy as shit. Them white
I
people didn't
haven't
cancel
seen
no
nobody.
Harvey Weinstein, nigga. The black people
Yeah.
canceled Harvey Weinstein because Harvey Weinstein was doing that shit to black people. The white people, believe me, the white if we wouldn't have
There's
said nothing.
somebody, bro, that I'm thinking about right now that just got canceled, and he's a white person. I can't
I don't know.
Right now.
I haven't seen him. But like I said,
every now and then they have to get somebody, you know what I mean?
Listen,
Sacrifice.
if you
They
okay,
do.
well then if you saying that, then you might as well just say that the white people canceled John Gruden too. But they really didn't. They didn't cancel John Gruden.
No.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
did it to
Just-
himself. I ain't talking about that. He did it to himself.
That's what I'm saying. That white person probably did it to himself too, and they couldn't fight. They couldn't save him because
Okay, I feel what you're saying, but at the end of the day, like they choose what to push and what to hide. They got that, you know what I mean? They got that on lock.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
White people have done so much shit that it just hid, bro.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you because.
So a white man can go down.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
They
The
don't feel
white
like it's just all black people.
white people ain't, because white people don't believe in canceling each other. That's what I'm. You proving my point that they don't believe in that shit.
But they sacrificing him though.
They don't believe in it because the simple fact is that, like I was trying to say, is that think about all the villains of America. They're white and they had statues. Robert E. Lee. They got all statues for these people. They glorify their villains. Dahmer. They got movies about Dahmer and all these white serial killer going around murdering people. They made movies out of these people. They glorify those people. Bruh. But when it comes to black people doing anything similar to it, you get counseled. You get treated at the worst possible way, bruh, because that's what white people do.
At the end of the day, if you want to keep someone from taking the number one spot, that's what you do. You know, you can't claim it. Like if any racist in the same situation, that's what you have to do to stay.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to say that, but it's so easy to say that, but you got to realize that no other culture has been at their pinnacle. So we can't say that because we ain't been there yet. You can only say that if we've been at that situation, and that's why I said
they did a great job
of maintaining that where they at, bro. They haven't allowed us. So yeah, you could sit there and say if we could, but we can't. We don't have to say if white people because they are at that position and they've been using it to their advantage ever since, and they're never gonna let go of that title.
I can always say if because shit, if anybody else was like, who want to be a fucking loser, bro?
No, that's what I just said. I just said that. I said you can always say the if, but the if doesn't mean nothing because the white people actually live in it. The if is a possibility. That's just something that might happen. I'm talking about. We know for sure that the white people live in this life. They're doing exactly what we saying what we might do. That's a possibility.
I'm just saying, like, they do what anybody would do.
I don't think my human nature is just because you black that I'm gonna defend you. That's definitely not my human nature. I won't sit there and say that because I guess then like what Pablo was saying before we got onto the podcast, with Tiger and he seemed to like white girls, so I got white. I mess with white girls, even though the reason that
it's not about defending, bro.
I take a look.
What you'll put out there and what you just won't say nothing about. That's how they play it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you gonna speak on or what you're not gonna speak on?
Yeah,
that's how they play it. You know what I mean?
And so I want to take a shot at this Pablo because I feel like he wanted to say this and he wanted to put me on the spot about this and I have no problem with saying that I date white girls, but the thing that's so funny when the thing that I find so interesting about when people sit there and they find out that I date white girls or I've been with white women is I've been with all kind of women. Like I don't discriminate when it comes to a woman. You could be black, you could be white, you could be Asian. It don't matter.
Let's not justify what you do.
I don't have a black woman either.
Exactly. You don't. Exactly. Just I just want to let the viewers know that I'm definitely not one of those people that I only date black women. Like, you got some people out there and we are a pro-black podcast. We're all black men. We all got black women in our families and our lives. But I don't want to make it seem like because I'm pro-black, that means that the only thing that I ever mess with is the black woman.
We got babies by black women.
I got babies by black women. I got babies by white women. I probably got babies by Asian women and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm a lover of the women.
From my people, bruh. We come from my people, bruh.
And listen, I don't even take Pablo serious because he doesn't have any women and he doesn't have any kids to be tied into this. So he really don't have a voice in this conversation.
What are you talking about, bruh? Let me come from my Asian baby, bruh. You don't got no Asian kids, bruh.
Yeah, yo, that'd be worse, boy. If you found out that I had an Asian baby out there, boy, that'll break your heart. That'll crush that boy. Hey, it was another great podcast, bro, man. I want y'all to know, man, and I want our viewers to know, man, I love y'all to death, man. I enjoy doing this podcast with y'all every time we get a chance, man. I love speaking on our topics.
And we love y'all too.
And we love y'all too, all our viewers. And we got some dope viewers, man. We got people that's really been rocking with us since the beginning, man. I shout out to all y'all, man, that really take the time.
Tito, I still love you, Tito. Tito, I still fuck with you.
Tito, but hey, look. The crazy part is, look. Check this out.
Nigga be watching the podcast.
Hey, yo, Bill. We didn't even speak on the fact that Pablo and Tito have a little beef going on. But you sitting here saying that Tito don't watch this, but Tito gonna watch this because I told him that we was gonna talk about the Jon Gruden conversation on the podcast. So he said he wanted to hear about it. So I'm glad that Bill brought you up because I want to say, Tito, Pablo been talking greasy about you, dog. You done got this man in his feelings, bruh. This man been talking greasy about you, bruh. I ain't gonna. Hey, Tito, I'm your boy. He told me that you should be my new best friend because he done let you go. And that was words out of this man's mouth, bro. Straight up.
What y'all got going on over there, man?
I don't know what this nigga talking about, man.
Hey.
This nigga just be saying shit.
Shout out to everybody that follow us, man. Keep following us into all our social media things. Hey, man, check us out on Twitter.
Hey, we get lit on Twitter, man. Shit.
No, yeah, hey, yeah.
We about up to 700 views, you know.
Yeah, and
we appreciate that.
I want people to know that I have made a conscious effort to start posting more on Twitter and all our social sites, man, because I've been getting a lot of people telling me that, you know, they want more of my content. So shout out to all of them.
Man, fuck your content.
Yeah. Well, listen, and I'm glad you said that before we got off camera because Pablo is one of my biggest haters. Let's just throw that out there. It's usually somebody that's close to you that's your biggest hater, and it's usually somebody far away from you that's your biggest supporter.
Yeah, they do say that, bro. It's usually the niggas right next to you.
And the last thing before we get out of here, man, we love y'all, and I want to give a big shout out to my oldest daughter, Mackenzie, and Danielle, because they are one of my biggest supporters with this podcast, man. They watch every one of these things, bro. They dedicated to it, bro. They watch it and I appreciate them checking me out.
Love to Danielle and Mackenzie, man.
Yeah, man. That's my baby. That's my baby and my what's name. So big shout outs to them for always watching my podcast and supporting me. Even though they be getting on my ass, y'all, they be talking shit sometimes, and you know, especially you know how Mackenzie is, but it's big love for them, man. I appreciate their support, man, and I love y'all.
Yeah.
We out here, man. U2S, baby.
We up to something, bitch.
U2S Media.